Hello and welcome to my journey. My name is Roy. I'm a home cook and amateur baker, and I am here on this channel typically sharing recipes that can help me on a weight loss journey and hopefully you as well. Now today you can see I'm on an actual journey. Really, I'm just going to the store, but I've been procrastinating big time about doing video and getting my weigh-in done, and so I figured while I am heading to the store to pick up some groceries that I would come on and do my weigh-in. Now, I don't have a topic for this week. What I figured I might do is just take you shopping with me. I don't know, I haven't recorded in public before, so I don't know how that will go, but we will give that a try. But my week was kind of iffy as far as eating goes. The weekends are the worst for me because we tend to be more relaxed and let our guards down, and Paul will suggest going out to eat, and rather than doing a healthy choice or a healthier choice, I usually go for whatever is going to be most satisfying because we're ordering out. It's something special. So, I mean, I did stop eating when I felt full, so that's the good thing. But I didn't make the healthiest choices, I will tell you that right now. We were, once again, supposed to have Brian this weekend, but he had created a server for Minecraft and he wanted to play with his friends, so he's doing that, and he will be here supposedly Friday into Saturday, and we're gonna watch some movies. We'll probably watch something scary. There's a new show I found on Max, if people like scary things. It's called Urban Legend. And it's basically that they take urban legends that you've all heard of, like, you know, somebody waking up in a hotel with their kidney missing, and they turn that into a little story. So each episode is its own story, and I'm pretty sure he'll like that, so I'm going to show him that. There's another movie called The Electric State, which looks really cute, and we're hoping he doesn't see it before he comes over so we can watch it with him. But knowing him, half the time we'll say, oh, we're going to watch this, and he's like, I've already seen that. Kids. Before I even got started on today's journey, I had a bit of an issue because my car would not start. My truck. It wouldn't start. It just kept clicking a little bit when I turned the key. And I had to move Paul's car and charge my battery, and now it seems to be working fine, but I'm always afraid when that happens that I'm going to go where I'm going to go, and then the same thing's going to happen. I'm going to have to find someone to jump my car. I'm not good with that stuff. It may not seem this way, but I am, as I believe I've mentioned before, somewhat socially awkward. So, talking to a stranger to see if they could jump my truck, not my favorite thing to do in the world, but if I have to, I will. I'm just hoping that I'll get enough juice going from driving to the store that I won't have an issue. The last time this happened, which was probably about a year ago, I didn't have a problem once I reached my destination, so I'm hoping that remains the same. I'm honestly not even sure why, because the last time this happened, I did take it to the shop, and they said there was no problem with the battery, so they have no idea why it happened. I am not good at cars. I'm lucky I know where the gas is. I wouldn't have any clue of what could possibly be the problem. But they said my battery was fine. They charged it up, and then it lasted until this time. So I don't know. We will see. If I'm leaving the store and I'm in tears, you'll know why. I don't think I'll be in tears, but you know what I mean. So what else did I do this week? See, that's the problem, is I don't really get out much. This is like the extent of my getting out is going to the grocery store. I am usually at home. I'll sit around watching shows, sometimes go on my computer when there are things I could be doing, but do I do them? No. So I gotta start pushing myself out of that. And I think the biggest thing might be if I take a shower first thing in the morning to kind of wake me up and get me motivated, maybe. I don't know. We will see. But that is the plan and the hope. So, you know how those go. They don't always come to fruition, but hopefully they will. Besides Urban Legend, we've been watching our usual Doc. We love Doc. Watson, we've watched. We're not overly keen on it. It seems a little too forced. Like they created these quirky characters purposely for the show, and just, I don't know, it just feels very forced. I'm not sure it will last. I'm not sure we will last. But that's another thing we watch sometimes. We've been watching Reacher on Amazon. We love that. I think there's another episode coming up this week, so we'll be able to catch up on that. Wheel of Time came out on Amazon, but we haven't watched that first episode yet. We've been watching The Recruit and what's the other one? Night Agent on Netflix. Those are really good if you like that action kind of thing. The second season of Night Agent we don't think is as good as the first, but we still enjoy it. But The Recruit, the second season is just as good as the first, so we're enjoying that. And I am done with most of my reality shows until they come out again. I watch Survivor and The Amazing Race, as does Sandy, I know. So we've been chatting about that after we've watched the episodes. Sandy did tell me that there is a Canadian version of The Traitors. However, you can't watch it in the US. You can only watch it in Canada. I guess it has something to do with licensing. So there is this thing that I'm not really that well versed in called a VPN, a virtual something network, virtual personal network, maybe? I don't know. VPN, and it would allow you to attach yourself to another computer, a server in another country, so that way it will look like you are in that country. So then I can watch The Traitors Canada. And there are a lot of British shows I'd love to see that I haven't been able to because we only see whatever comes to BBC America usually, or what happens to be on Netflix. So we'll be able to check out some of those as well. But yeah, I'm addicted to that stuff. I'm also, my true crime, I've been watching all of those. There is a new one, if you are interested in true crime, it's coming out tonight, I think it's tonight, about the Karen Reed trial, and they're actually interviewing her. I don't know how that's happening because she's going into her second trial. So I don't know how they were able to get that cleared, but that would be interesting. My thing, I know my friend Kathy watches the trials themselves. I don't have the attention span for that. My ADD, I just want the condensed version. I want to hear the story afterwards in one show. Because usually I miss things and I don't always see how the pieces all fit together because my brain does not work that way all the time. Because if there are too many different things, I just shut down. It's too much, it overwhelms my brain. So that's one problem with having an ADD brain, is that if there's too much going on, I kind of just shut down and kind of have to let it go. But I am going to be watching that. I do like finding out all of the information, but I just can't do it in real time. All right, so I am just about to pull into the store. I'm going to Stop and Shop, which is a New York supermarket. I mentioned them before. They also have Giant. This is the place where I go to. I mean, I like the store. I used to work here, actually. Well, not in this one. They've moved since I left. But they have a fat-free sliced cheese that I always use, and it's relatively cheap. They've it was like $4.69 a while ago, and now it's like $2.79 or something like that. So, but I'll probably show you that as I go shopping. I'll show you what I'm picking up, maybe things you want to look out for. But give me a moment to get inside and we will move on. All right, so I'm in the store. I'm going to turn you around. I had to take my sweatshirt off. It's like 60 something degrees today, and I get warm really quickly, so I just couldn't keep it on. But I'm going to turn you around and show you a few things as I shop. Okay, so I already got my strawberries. I'm getting some blueberries, and one thing I always do when I get fruit is I always turn them over and make sure there are no squishy ones on the bottom. Like this one over here. Was this one? There was one over here that had, yeah, this one's got a few squish ones, and that just shows me that they're very likely not going to last all that long. So now I'm going over for some bananas. All right, as most of you know, breakfast is typically yogurt with berries and bananas. These bananas look a little green still. I have one ripe at home. There's some over here that look like they might be closer. But one thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go check the other side. They have a rack that has day-old stuff or things that are expiring. So let me go check there. Okay, that rack has been pretty well picked over. There's nothing but some potatoes and I think some apples somewhere. I sometimes will go to another store if I can't find them, so I guess I'm going to stick with these, the ripest ones that I can get, and that is going to be for our breakfast. So let me get those. Okay, those are the ripest that I could find, and I know my friend Jennifer Lynn's going to think that those are perfect, or actually maybe even a little too yellow, because she likes them green. That is not me. So, all right, let me move on to the next items that I'm going to find. All right, so I figured while I'm passing the meat section, even though I'm not going to pick anything up, probably, I did want to mention some things I typically get is center cut pork chops. Those are the lowest in bites and points. If you can find center cut bacon, that's usually the best as far as bites and points go. Then over here, I usually get, they don't have 96 here, but I usually get the 93% beef if they don't have the 96, which the store usually does not. And then, of course, I always have chicken breast on hand because either I'm going to make chicken breast or I'm going to use it as ground chicken, because if you've seen my video where I prepared the chicken as sausages, that shows you how to grind your own meat. So much cheaper, because here, let's see, it's $2.79 a pound, and on sale it's $2.49 a pound. And now their ground chicken breast is over where? Up here. And this is $6.29 each. So that's almost 3 times what I'd be paying for the chicken breast, and I can grind it myself, so much cheaper. Okay, here's another thing I always have on hand is some sort of drink mix, no calories, so that way I can flavor my water, because just drinking plain water is not ideal. Usually I get mine from usually I get mine from Amazon. And this is one of the ones that I usually get, and this is another one. It was the regular. I really like the flavors there, so I always have those on hand. Another thing I always get are graham crackers, because you can have one of those for just 2 bites or points, or 2 of them for 5. Sometimes I will have one with a little marshmallow fluff, just a little bit, and it really does feel like a bit of a snack. So graham crackers are definitely on the list of things I keep in stock. All right, now here's one thing that kind of bugs me, is those Fiber One 70 calorie. They used to have bars before COVID. For some reason, ever since COVID hit, they have not had any of the bars. And those little cake things down there, I just find them a little too dry. But I used to love the bars, and they were only like, I think, 2 or 3 bites. So very disappointed they no longer make those, or at least they don't carry them here. Okay, that's another staple for me is Cheerios. I like to put them on top of my yogurt, or sometimes I will just have them with banana, and it's only 3 bites for a cup. So I do enjoy having that on occasion. Now see, this is one of the things I was telling you about, that, can I pull back a little bit? That I would get because it's something new, but I'm just going to be going right on by. See you later, Milanos. Okay, these I usually stock up on when they are on sale, mostly because Paul likes their Italian Wedding, the Progresso, or the Chickarina. I usually get him those, and then I usually get one of the light ones, where are they? I don't even see, oh, right down here. Vegetable barley, which I do like, beef pot roast. There's usually a chicken one that I get a lot of time, and they do have Italian Wedding in the light, so I think I'll get some of those since they are on sale for $1.77. Another thing I always keep on hand are these 98% fat-free soups. Doesn't have to be Campbell's, but this store does not carry the store brand. Shaw's, when I go to Shaw's, they do. But I usually get chicken and mushroom, typically, but I don't see the mushroom here anywhere. Down here, yep, there it is. All right, so chicken and mushroom, those are usually the ones that I keep on hand. That way, if I'm just throwing something together, I want to make it kind of like creamy, like a chicken pot pie kind of texture, then I will use those. I don't typically use cream of celery, so I won't be picking that up, but those are definitely a staple. Another staple is, of course, chicken broth. I always get the 40% less sodium because Paul has to watch his salt intake. So, but that's something I always have on hand as well. Okay, another staple for me is turkey kielbasa. It's 2 ounces, I think, for 3 bites. This is a 13-ounce package, and I'll usually have those with pierogies. Okay, they also had the Faye on sale, so I'm getting that. Okay, this one's good until May, so I do have some at home, but I can have this ready to go for at least a month or so. So I always have some plain non-fat Greek yogurt on hand. Now, I'm well stocked up at home on pasta, but I do typically get just regular pasta. I used to get the Fiber Gourmet, which I'd mentioned in a few early videos, but that is not the case anymore. It's just too expensive for me to get, so I go with just regular store-bought. Okay, another thing I always get are crushed tomatoes. I have those on hand because that's how I make my sauces. I just pretty much just throw everything together. I don't usually buy jarred sauce. I just make my own. And I usually have some tomato paste as well, just to help to thicken it up. Those are definitely staples that I have on hand, as well as some small dice tomatoes. Where are they? I always get the small dice because I just find it easier to incorporate them into a dish. But sometimes we'll get the regular diced if that's all they have. But typically it's the petite dice, that's what it's called, petite, just like me. There they are. I found the petite diced. I just don't need any right now. Another thing I always have on hand are some beans, black beans if I want to make my black bean soup or some sort of chili. I have chickpeas all the time. I always have those to make my hummus or to just make my my stewed chickpeas that I really like. Anyways, I always have some sort of beans on hand. Cannellini beans if I want to make my white bean Alfredo sauce. Now typically I will get some sweet corn, usually the low sodium, as I said, and some cut green beans, because what I like to do is mix the two of those together as a side. And here's the no sugar added sweet relish. This is the one I actually used in the Thousand Island dressing, but Vlasic does have one. I believe Mount Olive might have one. Maybe not in this store, but they do. So that is also available and something I like to keep on hand. Okay, for snacking, I like to get the Snyder's mini pretzels because you can have, I forget how many there are, like 19 or 20 for just 3 bites. And you can bring that number down if you only have 2 bites to spare or something, but either the mini or the snaps, those are what I usually get as a snack. This is the yogurt that we've been getting, the Chobani Zero Sugar. It's a little pricey here for some reason. Usually it's a little cheaper than that, but I'm going to pick it up because I need it. But those are the ones that we usually get now because they do have live and active cultures, which the other one we were using, which, let me see if I can find it, the Dannon Leighton Fit Greek yogurt. This one does not have any live and active cultures, so I swapped over. Plus I can have about 3/4 of a cup of this for 1 bite or point. Eggs I always get as well. I do have some at home, so I don't need them, but I did want to check, and the price has definitely come down from what it was the last time I was here. These were $11.99. Now they're down to $8.99. I had heard the prices were coming down. It's nice to see that they actually are. Now we've reached, unfortunately, my favorite aisle, the bread aisle. That's always where I like to go, but I'm going to show you what I usually get if I can stop having a spasm. I usually get these delightful 45, 2 slices for 2 bites or points. I have tried the keto buns. They're pretty good, but they're a little pricey for me. I am on a fixed income, so I usually don't splurge on something like that. And then this Nature's Own Life, those are really good, and those are only 2 bites. So those are the breads that I typically get. I also will typically get some of their English muffins. The store brand English muffins are just 3 bites a piece, as opposed to like 4 for the Thomas's, I believe, 4 or 5. So this is usually what I get is the store brand, and I think I will pick one up to have on hand for now. I've also been enjoying these the buttermilk ranch ones we will have with lunch, like sometimes with a sandwich kind of in place of fries, and it's like you can have like 16 for just 1 bite. I'm assuming it's also just 1 point, but the flavored ones, like the sweeter ones, are typically about 3 or 4 bites for a serving, so you can have a little less than that. Oh, they have a dill pickle. I never saw that before. And sweet and spicy chili. Well, it looks like I may have to look into those. All right, so I'm getting 4 of them, but I scanned these, and these, the sweet and spicy chili, cheddar, and dill pickle, are coming up at 4 bites. This one, if I scan it, doesn't come up accurately, so I had to put it in on my own. And all of the nutrition facts match, and it says 16 for 1 bite. So I'm going to have to look further into that and see what is really going on. Okay, this is not pretty or exciting, but I do need to get some dishwasher tablets, and I usually get the Cascade Premium Plus. Obviously, this is not sponsored, but that's the one we typically use. And almond milk, unsweetened almond milk, is obviously a big thing for me. And anytime I use almond milk in a recipe, you can use whatever milk you typically use, that's fine. But these are just the 2 quart is $4.29, and the gallon is $4.49. But the gallon of the store brand is only $3.79. So a lot of times if I come here, that's what I get, is the store brand. It's just as good, but it's a much cheaper. And for my buddy Kim, I had to record the Post Malone Oreos. I'm not going to get them, tempting as it is. They are swirled salted caramel and shortbread, but I do not need them. But Kim, there you are, your buddy Post Malone has his own Oreo. Okay, frozen veggies I always have on hand as well. I usually get some pepper strips just so I don't have to cut peppers up every time I want to use them. I get green peas and mixed vegetables. And I will also have some corn on hand. I just like the convenience of having those accessible in the freezer, and they're not going to go bad. Another thing I keep on hand is tater tots, because you can have a serving of those for like, I think 4 bites. And we will have those with our sandwich. We will have them sometimes, so we'll put them on top of a casserole. I did that in a video a while back. Maybe I'll try to remember to link that down below, but we usually have tater tots and fries just to have on hand. Here's the cheese that I was talking about. It's fat-free, pasteurized cheese product. The problem with this is, look at that label for fat-free, and then this one is not fat-free, so you really have to look, because it looks like the exact same label, but it is not. So you definitely have to check the labels to make sure. But this is a fat-free. 1 slice is 0, 2 to 3, I believe, is just 1 bite. So that's something to check out if you need something like that. As far as frozen treats, I always like these Yasso yogurt bars. They're not all the same as far as bites and points, so you got to make sure you scan them to check, but those are a good low bite, low point option. Also, these Outshine bars, if you get the no sugar added, those are also very good. But what I'm looking for is right down here. We usually get the sugar-free popsicles, and I think maybe I'll get the sugar-free tropical ones this time. And I also will get, if they have them, the Fudge Pops, no sugar added. The serving size says 3 pops. We usually just have 1 and 3. If you had 3, it would be 5 bites or points. But for just the one that we usually have, it's only 2. Next, I like to get for a low bite treat as well. Halo Top, I haven't had many of those, but those are supposedly also very good as far as watching your bites and points. And Nick's also has bars now. They've also had protein bars, I believe, so something to look at if you're looking for some ice cream that's not going to eat up all your bites and points. I don't need any now, but this fat-free Ready Whip is typically what I get to put on top of any desserts that we might be having, because that is the lowest in bites and points that I believe there is. And then here, I usually, if I want a treat, I usually stop here at the protein bar section and grab something here rather than a candy bar that I really should not have. The good thing about this store is they do have a lot that you can get for single purchase. A lot of stores only sell them in the pack, so I'm glad that Stop and Shop actually lets you get single bars so that way you can try them out before you invest too much into them. All right, so that's it for the shopping that I'm going to be doing. So I'll see you in a moment in the truck. All right, I am in luck. My truck started up again, so we are all set. I did want to show you, Paul and I had tried some of the one bars, and they were pretty good, a little high on the bites and points. I kept wanting to try this one because I'd seen it on Amazon, but I was not paying for a whole box of them when I hadn't tried them. So luckily Stop and Shop had them. This is the fruity cereal. I know Paul would have no interest in this, so I'm going to try this myself. I did get other ones that he will like s'mores and chocolate chip cookie dough, I believe. I'm going to cut in here to tell you I did not like that fruity cereal bar. It tasted almost like a perfumey soap. It was just, I couldn't finish it, no way. But there you have it. So yeah, the truck started. I'm happy about that. I ended up spending more than I had liked. I spent $124 around that. 24 of that, well, maybe 21, because I did find a coupon for $3 off, was the Cascade dishwashing tablet things. So that was a big chunk of it. But, well, not a big chunk of it, but that was about 1/5 of the total thing. And I got 4 bags of groceries. So can't complain too much. Before I get too long-winded here, I do want to go over my weigh-in for this week. I think what I'm going to start to do, because it's Monday, I'm at the last minute. I would have had this up probably 13 minutes ago because it's 3:13 according to my clock. But I was procrastinating, as I said. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start recording these on Friday, because typically I don't record them on the weekend because Paul and I, it's the only time Paul's fully free for the day, so we spend some time together. So I usually don't want to record then, so I try to do it early Monday morning and then do the editing, because I need to edit a lot because I sometimes have trouble with my speech. Like right there, I had to cut because I had a little issue, but the point is that Friday Paul is working, so I might as well just record it then and just post it on Monday. That's the smart thing to do. Will I be doing that? Who knows? But that is the plan. That is what I'm intending to do. Sorry, I needed a little drink. But my weigh-in for this week, as many of you may know if you've been watching, keeping track of the weigh-ins, I've been bouncing around 2.5 pounds up and down, up and down. And this week, I am happy to say that I broke that curse, but not by much. I did go down again, but I went down to 237.4, so I only dropped 0.2 pounds. But I did drop, and I did lose a little bit of weight, so that's a win. It wasn't another back up to the 2.5 or so. So there you have it. That's my weigh-in update for the week. You got to sit through all of my shopping. I hope you found that interesting. I hope I found it interesting enough to include it here. I thought that I was sharing some good information. I hope that you thought so too. And I think that's it for today. I'm just going to get home, pack all this stuff away, and relax until I have to start dinner, which is sooner than I'd like. But I hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you did, I'd appreciate a like, subscribe, comment, share, hit that notification bell for the next time I upload any sort of video, as you know. Also, don't forget to check out the description box for all sorts of information, from my cookbook link to my Amazon storefront to my 2 stores, the Fourth Wall and Zazzle store. and my social media if you'd like to follow me over there. I have my Instagram and a few Facebook groups that I'm part of, so check out that description box for all sorts of information. All right, well, I'm going to drive carefully and safely now that my battery is going. So I hope that you will be enjoying your day, whatever you're doing. So until next time, bye.